So nice to have you back, Oslo.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about the data in the clinical trials, because you're leading a work package in PCM4U on this topic.
Yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit where we are right now? How do we generate data, clinical or molecular data in clinical trials for precision medicine?
So this is not determined completely yet, so it's under discussion, but we need a data sharing protocol, and there's different options. There's one issue with clinical data, and there's one issue with the genetic data, right? So it's all sensitive data, and we need to make sure that it's considers this. But in all the informed consent in the PCM4EU partners and in the different trials, the DRIP-like trials, there's consent for sharing data, and that's of course important when we plan to share data.
There are different personalized medicine trials in the consortium.
Yeah.
So does every trial store or have the data the same way?
Yeah.
Or are there heterogeneity?
There's we call them the DRIP-like trials.
Yeah.
The DRIP was the first one in Europe starting, and they have been very sharing and shared their protocol and their ECRF where we store the data. So we have tried to make it very similar so that it's easy to share data. So one way is to extract data from the different ECRFs, the data in the different protocols, and then pool them into one ECRF for the specifics that are needed for the sharing protocol, right? For the genetic data, at least the whole genome, maybe we will have to do the federated analysis, which means that the data are analyzed locally at the different hospitals, and then the results are shared.
Okay.
Yeah. But these are different options, and we need to sort of figure out how to do it practically.
Yeah, given if you're allowed or not to share the data and possible sensitivity of the molecular data, I guess.
Yeah, and of course the different trials kind of own their own data, like the Danish, like my co-lead Ulrik Lassen leads the ProTarget trial. The ProTarget owns their data. Impress Norway owns Impress data, but we want to share on different cohorts and specific issues, then we need to pool that data, right? So it's that's important.
Yeah. In the drug-like trials, there are agreements with the pharmaceutical industry that provide the compounds. Yeah. So is there a need to have their approval for sharing the data together, or you are free to do what you want?
Yeah, so they are informed that that's the plan, and I think they are very eager that we do share, because then they get the results quicker, right? So I think everyone is very pro sharing the data.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Was there already an example of data sharing between drug-like trials that could lead to improve information?
So we haven't made the organization yet, but of course, we have one expansion cohort with olaparib, where the stage 1 and 2 have been done in the Netherlands, and then the stage 3 will be going on several different partners. So then we will, of course, share that data, because it's a rare alteration. We expect to find maybe 5 annually in Norway, and maybe they have double in Denmark or in the Netherlands. So we need to share data to acquire the number of patients that we plan on including all together.
Just a last question. So I've understood that when you start working on you start a trial with a drug-like CRF, it's homogeneous. It makes some data homogeneous. But if a CRF is not similar to the drop-like trials, what is the work needed to make it operable?
Yeah, so that depends on what kind of differences there are. So of course to have the primary endpoint, for instance, which is disease control or clinical benefit at 16 weeks of treatment, that needs to be the same, and you need to have the same understanding of what that is. And if not, it's difficult to collapse those data, of course. So that's one point that's really important. Whereas many of the details, some exploratory endpoints in a different study, that's not that important because that might not be the same in all trials.
Okay, so that's feasible given the primary endpoint is similar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so that was very interesting, and thanks a lot for all your explanations.
Thank you.